The English language has a long and fascinating history. It began with the arrival of Germanic tribes to the British Isles in the 5th century. These tribes, the Angles, Saxons and Jutes, brought their languages with them. Over time, these languages blended together, eventually forming what we now call Old English. Old English was very different from the English we speak today. It had a complex grammar and a vocabulary that is largely unrecognizable to modern English speakers. One of the most famous works of Old English literature is the epic poem. It tells the story of a heroic warrior who battles monsters and dragons. The language of is challenging even for native English speakers. However, it is also beautiful and poetic, offering a glimpse into the minds of our linguistic ancestors. Old English was spoken in England for several centuries. During this time, it was influenced by contact with other languages, such as Old Norse, the language of the Vikings. However, the most significant event in the history of Old English was the Norman conquest of 1066. In 1066, William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, invaded England. The Normans, who were originally from Scandinavia, had settled in northern France and adopted a dialect of French. William's victory at the Battle of Hastings had a profound impact on England, including its language. French became the language of the English court, government and aristocracy. English, now relegated to the lower classes, began to change rapidly. It simplified its grammar, shedding many of its inflections, and borrowed a large number of words from French. This marked the beginning of a new era for the English language, Middle English. Middle English was a vibrant mix of Old English and French. It was a period of great linguistic diversity, with regional dialects flourishing across England. One of the most famous examples of Middle English literature is by Geoffrey Chaucer. Chaucer's work captures the richness and variety of Middle English. His characters, drawn from all walks of life, speak in a range of dialects reflecting the social and geographical diversity of England at the time. Middle English was a time of transition, a bridge between the Old English of and the early modern English of Shakespeare. The transition from Middle English to early modern English began in the late 15th century. This period, known as the Renaissance, witnessed a renewed interest in classical learning and culture. English scholars were exposed to Greek and Latin texts, and they began to incorporate words and ideas from these languages into their own writing. Another key factor in the development of early modern English was the invention of the printing press. William Caxton brought the printing press to England in 1476. The printing press made it possible to produce books and pamphlets quickly and cheaply. This led to a dramatic increase in literacy and a wider dissemination of written English. Section 5. Shakespeare's enduring legacy, a master of words. No discussion of the English language would be complete without mentioning William Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a master of language, and his plays and poems had a profound impact on the development of early modern English. Shakespeare invented thousands of new words and phrases that are still in use today. He also experimented with grammar and syntax, creating a style of writing that was both beautiful and expressive. Shakespeare's works helped to standardize the English language and make it accessible to a wider audience. Section 6. The British Empire, spreading the language. In the centuries that followed Shakespeare's death, the English language continued to evolve. The British Empire, which at its height encompassed nearly a quarter of the world's landmass, played a significant role in spreading the language. English was introduced to new continents and adopted as a language of administration, commerce and education in many parts of the world. This global reach helped to establish English as a major world language. Section 7. English in a globalized world, the rise of a lingua franca. In the 20th and 21st centuries, English has emerged as a global lingua franca, a language used for communication between people who do not share a native language. This is largely due to the economic and cultural influence of English-speaking countries, particularly the United States. English is now the language of international business, science, technology, and diplomacy. It is also the most widely studied foreign language in the world. Section 8. American English, a new dialect takes root. As English spread around the globe, it also continued to evolve. One of the most significant developments has been the emergence of American English. American English developed its own distinct accent, vocabulary and grammar, influenced by the languages of immigrants and the unique cultural landscape of the United States. Today, American English is arguably the most influential dialect of English in the world. Its impact can be seen in everything from popular music and movies to technology and fashion. Section 9, the future of English, a language in constant flux. The English language is constantly evolving. New words are being coined all the time. And old words are taking on new meanings. Grammar and pronunciation are also changing, albeit more slowly. The internet and social media are having a profound impact on the language, accelerating the pace of change and blurring the lines between written and spoken English. What the future holds for the English language is impossible to predict with certainty. However, one thing is certain. English will continue to adapt and change, reflecting the evolving needs and experiences of its speakers.